Today we're making a folio for a giveaway for all of my subscribers on YouTube. To make the folio, you will need to go to Darcy's Ko-Fi page and download Patty's Garden digital prints. Hi everyone, Patty here with Cooper, my mini schnauzer, and Carmel, my mini golden doodle. Darcy has captured these two perfectly in the digital Patty's Garden. I've made myself a little template to make this folio, and you'll be able to follow along making your own folio to add to your journals to hold little extra pieces and journaling spots. We need 2 pages from the digitals. Pick what pages you like. I've made a couple of these so far, one with the Cooper on front and one with the Carmel. You want to print them out on at least 28-pound paper, not just regular printer paper, which is usually about 20 pounds. Cut one piece of paper at 9.5 inches wide by 7.5 inches long. I use 7.5 so I can fit it into my elastic band I'm using in my journal, which you will see later. Cut the cover piece with your favorite to be your cover. I had a hard time picking, so I made a couple. The cover piece is 5 inches wide by 7.5 inches long. You need to cut it out from the back, for when you flip it over, it will be the front. Glue these 2 pages to form your outside cover piece. Flip over and cut. Add the coffee-dyed pages or tea-dyed pages, or use any of the 6 background digital pages. These won't show very much, and I didn't want to cover my beautiful digitals, so I used a few of my tea-dyed pages. See how you cut out the front cover piece? I tried to show how you want to trace it from the back, so when you flip it over, it's going to be the front for the focal point. We want to cut out tea-dyed pages on the same size to cover the pieces. Score your pieces to fold in 3 pieces with the front over cover being in front. We're ready to start with the flip-up page. In the center of the folio, cut one piece 4 3/4 inches wide by 8.5 inches long. We want this one to be longer so we can have a fold to flip up. Again, I cut this out of tea-dyed paper as I will be covering most of it up with digitals from Patty's Garden. Cut on piece 4 1/4 inches wide by 7 inches long and sew around the edges and down the center. This is going to form 2 pockets on the flip-up page. I chose this background page with the fringed blue jeans for my pockets. I take this to my sewing machine and sew around the edges and down the center. When we glue this piece onto the flip-up page, we only want to glue around the top, bottom, center, and one side. You pick which side you're going to have your tags pull in and out of. Mine will pull out on the right side. I like to put my thumb on the side that I don't want to put any glue to keep from making the mistake of gluing this piece down completely. Glue this down onto the flip-up page and wipe off any excess glue. Glue the flip-up page to the center of your folio, making sure the fold is up to the top of the page and your pockets are still open and you haven't glued them shut. Yep, my pockets are still there. I did it right. The stark white on the flip-up page needs to be covered with another piece of the digitals. Cut it at 4 3/4 by 8.5 inches long to match the flip-up page. Glue the page to the flip-up so it is double-sided now and no white is showing. I just used a glue stick for this part. I didn't cut it quite the right size, so I have a little white showing, and I try to find a piece of handmade washi tape. I'll link that video in the description. Cut a piece to cover up the white strip. I used material for making the washi tape, so I can fray the edges of the washi tape to match the frayed material digitals. Of course, we have to ink around the edges just in case we didn't cut things just right, and we don't want to have the white edges showing. We want to cut 3 of the envelopes. In Darcy's printables, you have an envelope to use, but we'll be gluing these down to the flip-up page, and I don't want to use the envelope from the digital and cover up the cute little squirrel on the back. I flipped through the pages to see what I want to use for these envelopes, which will be great places to journal on and trace around my template. I cut 3 envelopes, only 2 fit on a page, and the third one is done on a different piece of paper. I traced around my template and got 2 on this page. I trimmed the top of these envelopes together to make them match. You don't have to, but I added a little partial circle cut out on the bottom of the envelopes. Fold these into thirds and glue the backs onto the flip-up page. I want both of the envelopes to be the same size, so I folded them on top of each other so they would be folded in the same crease spot. Fold into thirds. This will be perfect little journaling spots. And of course, we ink around the white stark edges to give them a nice vintage look, and around all the edges, front and back, even the creases. Envelopes are ready to glue down onto the flip-up page. Only put glue on the back side of the envelope. I saw someone else do this little tip. When your glue needs to be distributed better, use your glue stick to smooth it around versus your finger tool, and then your finger sticks to everything after you've used it to smooth the glue out. I thought it worked pretty slick. Make sure the glue is only on the back side. We want these envelopes to open for a journaling spot. Center these 2 envelopes onto the hidden pockets. Making sure that the top flips up and we haven't glued them on upside down. Wipe off any excess glue. Under the flip-up page, we will have a horizontal belly band. Cut out a piece of the digitals at 4 1/4 inches wide by 2 1/2 inches long. I found a scrap that would work and cut it out to fit. I also cut out a vertical belly band that will go on the other side of the folio. Cut this belly band at 2 1/2 inches wide by 7 1/2 inches long with another piece of your digitals. I backed these pieces with some heavy cardstock or thicker paper to make the belly band sturdy, because paper will be going in and out of them, and so you want them to be sturdy and not just with a thin piece of paper. After they've dried with the cardstock, cut them out again. We'll let these dry and we'll make a pocket for our front flap. I pick another piece to use as a pocket and cut out a pocket to fit the front flap. Decide how to get around the decorative front flap edge and placing the pocket. I did go back and trim the pocket from the front so you don't see it peeking out. I glued this pocket to the heavy cardstock also to make it sturdy. I cut all 3 pieces out and decided to take them to my Big Shot and run them through an embossing plate with a script print. I have some beautiful waxes, so I picked Celestial, which is a white with a silver hint to it, and highlighted the script with the wax to add some details to the pocket and belly bands. Of course, I added a little walnut stain ink around the edges to give them a little more depth. It's time to adhere the pocket and belly bands to the folio. Glue the vertical belly band top and bottom only. Glue the horizontal belly band sides only under the flip-up page, making sure to wipe off any excess glue from the edges. Glue 3 sides of the pocket to the front flap. Wipe off any excess glue. I put a piece of parchment paper between the pages and set this under heavy books to make sure they are all adhered well and lie flat. We need to cut out one more envelope and our tags to fit in our hidden pockets. I have some tea-dyed cardstock that I use to make the tags and cut these out to fit into my hidden pockets. Mine are 3½ inches wide by 2 3/4 inches long. I used some of the handmade washi tape to add a little pull-out tab to the tags. The washi tape is very sticky, double-sided tape, and doesn't need any extra glue or staples. I put the tab in the center of the tag edge on both tags. And again, we edge with walnut stain to give the pieces added depth and texture. Cut the third envelope out. It may need to be adjusted in width to fit your horizontal belly band, but we'll be able to check that out after we get it made. Fold into thirds and ink around the edges. I don't think I added the circle punch on the bottom of this envelope. Your choice. Now we have to decide what we're putting in the pocket and the vertical belly band. I like to put scraps of paper together with a paper clip and a little piece of scrap material for a decorative top. I have several of these made up and can add to pockets when I'm making a journal. I also made a few large clusters with tea bags, lace, fun papers, a tiny tag hand-stitched with a piece of dyed canvas. These are always ready for adding to belly bands. My pocket and belly bands are dry and flat after sitting a night under heavy books, so we're ready to add our ephemera to the pockets and belly bands. Here's where I had to cut the envelope down to fit this belly band. The envelope was too wide. Add the cluster to this belly band. I had to fold the tea bag a little to make it fit the page. The little tag just floats around. I like that. You can take this cluster apart and use the pieces for collages when you're working on your journal pages. Same as the scraps of paper that are in the front pocket. Add your tags to the hidden pockets, and we're ready to add our closure. I'm going to use some red and white twine I have for the closure. And I'm fussy cutting a couple mushrooms to add to cover the twine end. I really like Darcy's digitals because the ephemera is on a colored background, so when you're fussy cutting the edges, you don't have to worry about getting too close to the edge. I still will add a little walnut ink around the edges for a distressed look. I cut out 2 mushrooms. Put a little glue on the twine and add the mushrooms over the top of the twine to cover the twine end. Glue your mushrooms down and wipe off any excess glue with a damp cloth. Add your ephemera back to the pocket. And wrap the twine around the folio a couple times. I did go back and add a couple charms to the end of the twine. One more little addition, because these digitals are so great, I cut out the little mini schnauzer and the bucket for this folio. The other one I made with the mini golden doodle, I cut out the mini golden doodle and the bucket. Glue these on to heavy cardstock to make them sturdy. We will be putting the bucket over the puppy's head, so we don't want it to bend. After gluing to the cardstock, fussy cut the puppy and the bucket out. Oh, these digitals are so cute. Okay, this puppy's got to go right here on this horizontal belly band. Nope, it's a vertical belly band. Fussy cut out the schnauzer and your bucket. He fits just perfectly on this belly band. Cut the center out of the handle on the bucket. We're going to go and wrap a piece of wire around this bucket handle to make it stronger. Leave a little tab at the end and then just start wrapping your wire around it. Go all the way from one side to the other side. And then you're going to go back to back to where you started, and then back again to the other side. So you'll have 3 loops around the handle with the wire. Leave a piece of the wire on the back about a 1/2 inch long, so you have it. Cut off any excess wire. We cut out another little bucket, just the bottom part of the bucket, and we'll glue it on and cover up those wire tabs. Make sure the wire is laying flat against the cardstock. So I just trace the bucket, not the handle, just the bottom bucket part, onto my heavy cardstock and cut this out. Glue this back piece onto the wire and cover it up. Trim off any excess and even up your edges. And of course, don't forget to ink up your edges. Only glue the puppy down on its body part. Don't put any glue on his head because we'll be putting the bucket over his head, and this is an interactive piece that can come on and off. I like to hold pieces down after I've glued them with paper clips to keep all the edges to be glued together. When it's dry, we can take off the paper clips. Oh, how cute is that? Don't worry if you don't win this cute little folio. You can always make one with Patty's Garden Digitals. Don't forget to use Patty40 for 40% off when you go to Darcy's page. If you'd be interested in my pattern, let me know and I'll see if I can scan them for you. Have a great day and good luck on winning this by leaving a comment, hit like, and subscribe to my channel. Folio winner will be picked by 4/24/24. Next video will be the journal I made with Patty's Garden Digitals. The cover is a garden gate that opens with a nail closure that closes the journal, and you can hold a pin for journaling. Bye!